I'm now going to describe to you the alarms settings on the Ventway Sparrow miniature turbine ventilator by Novitec. In the main menu, as you can see on the screen, you will go to the alarms setting. There are high level, medium level and low level alarm settings. The high level will determine the sound and the color. It will be red and the loudest. The medium and low level will be yellow or a lighter color, and the low level will just be a white screen with a beep. It's very important that you recognize that all the high level alarms that are possibly needed are determined. If the turbine blower malfunctions, if the tube is disconnected or the patient disconnected, if there's apnea from the patient, if the system crashes and recovers, if there's a battery empty or near empty, if there's a disconnection of any of the sensors, if the respiratory rate is low or the minute volume very high or low. Also in the high level is the high inspiratory pressure, low inspiratory pressure, leak percentage, if inverse IE ratio is occurring, if there's a high temperature, if the expiratory valve is blocked, and if the PEEP is too high or too low. The alarm category medium level is if the respiratory rate is high, if the tidal volume limit preset is reached, if there's a low tidal volume or low pressure or the battery is getting low or there's a high voltage, the medium level alarm will be triggered. The low level is if the machine senses that the filter is a bit blocked with dust or moisture, if service to the ventilator is needed, if you're in an aircraft, helicopter or jet at high altitude, whether the altitude cabin pressure is out of range, and an unexpected restart of the ventilator. Here you will see the alarms indicated in red for high level alarm, which will be accompanied by 5 bleeps every 2 seconds. Note that here you can silence the alarm by moving the cursor to the alarm bell icon in the bottom end of each screen and click on it and deactivate the alarm for 2 minutes. There are also the warning signs for any hazardous action that you may take during the ventilation. For example, if you want to change the ventilator parameter, which will stop the ventilator temporarily, or if you want to change to a new patient. So in this way, you will have to identify what you want to do again by moving the cursor to the tick and clicking that that's exactly what you want to do, and be ready to respond to what will happen if you do that. The alarm setting screens also allow you to set threshold values that you want for each type of alarm, which are different from the preset default parameters. For example, you can raise or lower the pressure limit. In an adult it will be 50, in a child it will be much lower at 30. You can indicate if you want the machine to tell you if there's an inverse ratio, or if you selected an inverse ratio to allow it to happen without an alarm. And then you can also set the low tidal volume as a percentage of the tidal volume set, the leak as a percentage, the apnea time that you want the machine to respond with an alarm, and the PEEP level that you want to be alarmed if the PEEP changes significantly within 2.5 of the set PEEP level. The user adjustable limits for the alarms are given on this slide, which show you that the respiratory rate can be set between 12 and 70 breaths per minute, or 1 to 20 low level. And obviously this will vary from the patient that you have, and you may want to change it from the pre-selected default values. The apnea time can be between 10 seconds and 120 seconds. I usually select myself 20 seconds. The leak change from 10% to 100% if you want a leak with an invasive ventilator because you would like a little bit of leak from the balloon for safety. The low tidal volume delivered can be off or 15 to 85% of the volume that you want, if you want to make sure that there's adequate tidal volume for every breath. As I said before on the last slide, you can switch on or off the inverse IE ratio indicator. You can adjust the volume of the alarm from a 1 low level to a 4 very high level. You can adjust the pressure limits between 11 and 60, and obviously in a child you want to bring that right down to 25 or 30. You can adjust the pressure alarm limit between 10 and 55 centimeters. Additional alarms that will appear are a low battery alarm, an empty battery alarm, a disconnect battery alarm, sensor tube disconnection, tube disconnect, patient disconnect, high peep. It will give you a notice if service is required. It will tell you if the system boot is failed. It will tell you if there's a low peeper level, external electrical power is disconnected. It gives you an indication and an audio indication on the screen and an audio alarm. Note, if no patient weight was set, the user will not be able to change any default parameters. Note, the minimal alarm sound level is 80 decibels at a distance of 1 meter from the ventilator. The graphic user interface indicators show you quite clearly when the alarm has been silenced, and the maximum allowed is 120 seconds, 2 minutes, and it will be displayed in the logbook indicator how many times the alarm has been deactivated or activated. In normal operation, the icon bell open serves as an activation button, and if you click on the clear white background bell, it will open a list of up to 5 active alarms by priority that have or are occurring. Thank you very much.